Welcome back, this is Jack, and this is 360 Watch Reviews. Today I have a special treat, a discontinued Amiga Seamaster 300 GMT, the 50 years edition. Originally this watch was released in 1998. This piece celebrated the 50-year milestone of the Seamaster since its launch back in 1948. It takes familiar design cues from the early Seamasters, such as the much-beloved wave dial, the unmistakable oversized indice at the 12 o'clock position, the sword hands, and of course the crown guard. What makes this piece so special is not only what it represents, but also the fact that it was one of the last models Amiga produced before everything went coaxial. Amiga certainly do not make them like this anymore. Next I'll do a tour of the exterior of the watch, followed by the movement, the criticisms, and I'll conclude as always with a wrist shot at the end. Okay, now I'm going to delve in to what we love about this piece so much. So, at a first glance, I'm just going to bring up the focus. We can see there is no helium escape valve. It usually sits up here, right in the corner. But Amiga have sanctioned its removal. As a result, it is a much more tidy and refined case. I'll be completely honest, a GMT's salient and most important feature is to show another time zone, and diving is not this watch's priority, regardless of it being a Seamaster. To consolidate this point further, the bezel is bi-directional. For those of you who don't know, this does mean it turns both ways. And of course this does abdicate the professional status of it being a serious diving tool. You know, it's not safe to time oxygen underwater because of that. However, it has got a generous water resistance of 300 meters, which is quite unusual for a GMT. So I would think of this as a bonus and appreciate the nod this is given to the original Seamaster 300, which was released back in 1957. Which did not have, incidentally, a helium escape valve. Okay, the date aperture at the 3 o'clock position, a little bit obscured by my minute hand here, but you can see it nonetheless. Nice and big, nice and clear. Really, really nice to have the date feature on the Seamaster. We have a beautiful wave dial, which is synonymous with previous Seamaster divers. Absolutely stunning, really stands out, and I absolutely love it. You know, that had to be on there for the 50th year Seamaster. Absolutely brilliant. The red GMT hand, contrasting nicely with the black, in addition to the tip of the second hand, as you can see. Oh, and of course the GMT writing on the cases, on the dial as well. Really nice colour combinations there. I love it when black is mixed with a splash of red. Really nice. I wouldn't have chosen any other colour personally. The silver on the bezel, let me just bring that back up correctly. Gotta love the sound of an Amiga bezel. Very precise. Very nice sound. Okay, black represents night and silver represents the day, and you might have seen this on a few of the Rolex GMT Master 2s. Of course, this is Amiga's attempt at doing one of these types of bezels, and again, I can't not like the colour. It really works for me. Silver and black go very well together, and it's a really cool feature for what it's supposed to do. Okay, the case size is 41 millimeters. Huge fan personally of this size of case. It is of course the same size as a Tudor Black Bay. Proportion wise, it does fit my wrist perfectly. A really nice size. It's not too big, and it's not tipping the scale of going too small there, and I really like it. I think this watch will work for most in terms of size. Okay, I will go on to the crown guard. The crown guard is always appreciated due to the protection that this provides. Let's see if I can get a better shot. There we are. You know, this part of the case can sustain heavy shocks, you know, with your day-to-day life, and the fact that you've got a crown guard, this will act as your contingency. So, really pleased that's on there. It's a very sensible and unobtrusive case depth. One prominent criticism that keeps surfacing in the realm of watch enthusiasts all over the world is the monstrous case steps of the Amiga Planet Ocean line, particularly the 8500 and 9300 chronograph. This will, serve you well in this area, as it does not protrude too much above the wrist. And of course, I will show you a wrist shot at the end of the video. While we're at this kind of angle, there you go, you can just appreciate the domed sapphire crystal with a coating of anti-reflective glare right there. I'm a huge fan of domed crystals because they really make the watch stand out. You need to treat this area though with extreme caution, and what I mean by that is toxins and solvents have been known to strip off the anti-reflective glare or leave areas patchy. The most common instigator, unfortunately, is cologne. Like a chemical, it is very potent, very strong. Do not spray it near your watch. Amiga refuse to reapply anti-reflective glare if this happens, as do many manufacturers. So the only solution is a brand new sapphire crystal, which are not cheap, I assure you. So please take care in that area. The green Lumibrite is extremely legible, even in low light conditions. It's outstanding. Again, apologies for no demonstration. There are plenty of images online of what Amiga Lum looks like, and it is, truly outstanding to see. It is, so legible. And this one on here is a green Lumibrite, which is just brilliant. Any Amiga watch owner of a Seamaster will tell you the same. It is known, it is a true GMT, this watch, and I'm just going to show you what that means. It has a snapping hour hand, which actually also means it does not have a quick set date function. This way you do not have to lose any seconds when changing the time. And I'll do you a quick demo here. So in the first position, as you can see, I can fire that hour hand quickly to the next hour. Again, the watch is still going. True GMT, it's not like previous watches or even current watches, that is, where of course you pull that out to the first position and you've got the quick set date on the window right here. You might find this a little annoying, but trust me, it is so much better on a GMT to have the snapping hour hand. It's extremely handy and it works very well there. And if you keep your watch going every day, then you're never going to have to change that date window all that much. So not an issue there. I'll quickly do the bracelet. Predominantly brushed. Again, you can see how well the case is finished. You've got lovely polished bits just on the lugs right here. Beautifully brushed side. It's a case of high quality and finishing. Truly outstanding. I'd expect nothing less from Amiga. You can see the vertical polished links in the middle right here. This bracelet has been used on Speedmasters as well. You've got the old school clasp. Really love this clasp. Just going to bring the focus back up on there. All engraved with Amiga Seamaster Professional. Technically that Professional shouldn't be on there, but oh well. A push release folding clasp, and if you don't know, there is a diver's extension as well. So again, very handy. Will not be using that much, but just make sure you tuck this section of the folding extension underneath first, okay? Because if you try and do this, as you can see, you'll bash it and you'll scratch it. So tuck it under there neatly first, and then click back into place. All right, no issues there. Nicely designed bracelet, very nice. Okay, now onto Amiga's movement. So I guess I'll start off with the case back quickly just before delving into that. I'm just going to need to bring the focus back up. Sorry about the light in here. So it has the iconic seahorse, the Amiga seahorse, and is also stamped with the 50 years, so cementing its heritage right there for what this watch represents. I'd like to point out that this is not a limited edition piece. It can be classed as a special edition, but this watch was mass produced and not individually numbered, so it is not a limited edition, because there are, believe it or not, some people out there who think it is. I can see why, but it's not. Okay, so the movement, there's nothing really more to say about the case back there. It's very nicely done, but the movement Okay, so this is Amiga's 1128 caliber, which is chronometer certified. As you can see, it's stamped on the dial right there. Sorry, the focus is just slightly gone again. There we go. So yeah, chronometer certified, which is fantastic. I love chronometer certified watches. You know the accuracy is going to be there. It's very reassuring, and I love it. You know, wouldn't expect nothing less from Amiga, again, because they are well known for producing chronometer movements. It has a 44-hour power reserve. The 1128, in the essence of it, is a 2892-A2 ETA movement. Now what this means, it's an ETA base which has been modified to a high standard by Amiga. It has a rhodium plated finish, 2 extra jewels, improved winding efficiency, and decoratively finished with the Geneva waves. So a very high quality Swiss movement. Yes, it's ETA, but you know, if you love your watches, this is not going to bother you at all. You know, at the end of the day, Amiga all used to be ETA practically before they went in-house. Which is, you know, this just goes to show you, you know, one of the last watches before they went all that, and I like it because of that very much. So I will now be coming on to the criticisms. I will come back to anything that I have missed on the watch, so I apologise. So, first one then, no loom pip on the bezel, which would normally sit right here. I think it's a bit of a cop-out to have put an upside-down triangle up there when they could have put a nice loom pip, which would have been much, much better. You know, quite small, that one, but I just think it would have looked nicer. I'm not a massive fan of what they've done with the top here, but never mind. The bezel is not ceramic, so be extremely careful. You know, take caution if you're being heavy with your watch. This is going to scratch, particularly if you bash it nastily. You can kind of see a small one up here, just under the light. That's a very, very light one, but you know, just take care. I would have preferred a raised Amiga logo instead of a printed or stamped one that's on the dial. I know why they've done it. I'll just see if I can get an image here. Just going to zoom in. You can see the GMT hand right there is just millimeters above the dial, so when that's slowly gliding around a raised logo, it may have caused some issues there, so that's not an issue really. Just I liked raised logos. I would have preferred a slightly higher power reserve. You know, they could have rounded it up to 48 hours, so it was a two-day power reserve. Much more practical number. I think they've shortchanged just here a bit with the 44 hours. Would like to have been a little bit higher there. So again, a quick shot on the wrist because this video is running over. As you can see, straight away, first thing I notice is that wave dial. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful watch. I love it. I hope you do too. The much sought after Amiga Seamaster 300 GMT 50 years. Thank you for watching.